Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and thank you for coming to our concert this evening. I'm sure this is a moment that you've all been looking forward to see what they've been doing for the last 4 months. Let me kind of highlight a few things before we get started. I know you're not here to hear me talk, but I just want to point out a few things about what we've been doing the last 4 months. First of all, if you've never played music before, you look at a piece of paper and it's got a whole bunch of black lines and black dots and a bunch of things that if you don't read music, you have no idea what this says. It's like reading a foreign language. So what these kids are doing is absolutely remarkable because they have to read essentially what's a foreign language. They have to figure out what note it is. They have to figure out what fingers to push down. They have to figure out how to form their embouchure, how to play the sound on the instrument, how much air to put in, how loud it is, how soft it is, what the articulation is. And all that they have to do just like that. They have to do it in a split second. And if they don't do it that fast, then everybody else is at the end of the song and they're still at the beginning. So what they are doing is absolutely remarkable. It goes to show, you know, they talk about educating the whole child. And this is one way that we educate the whole child because the left side of the brain is all about math and reading and writing. But the right side is about creativity and playing in music and being a part of an art class. So this is a great way for you and your children to get a complete education. So I'm so glad that you decided to let your child be in band. And without me talking a whole lot, we're going to play our first song. Every day we come in, we play a warm-up. And today's warm-up is something that we renamed it. It's called Christmas Morning. Didn't they sound great? But we all know that it didn't always sound like that, did it? Remember that first day they brought their instrument home? Remember what it sounded like? It sounded something like this. We call this, there arose such a clatter. Now, it didn't really sound that bad, did it? No, maybe it did, but after about 2 weeks of class, we finally got it to sound something like this. We call this one, Not a Creature Was Stirring. Ready? That sounds much better, right? So then we learned 2 notes, then we learned 3 notes, and after we learned 4 notes, then we were able to put this song together, and this one's called Not Even a Mouse. All right, so those are called whole notes, all right? And those are the first 3 notes that we learned. Then we started learning quarter notes and half notes, and if you don't know music, that probably doesn't mean anything to you, but it's different notes that are held different lengths of time. And we're able to put together a song that we call Visions of Sugar Plums. We're keeping the Christmas theme here, so here we go. Visions of Sugar Plums. Okay, so our next song then that we'd like to play, after we get all these quarter notes, half notes, whole notes, all these new notes that we learned, the next song we'd like to play, and I'm sure you're going to recognize it, it's called Mary Had a Christmas Tree. So then, after we learned our first 5 notes, we decided that we would learn a song called, wait for it, Baby Shark. But since it's Christmas time, this is going to be called Christmas Shark. Okay, so we had a few brave souls that wanted to demonstrate what their instruments sound like. So we're going to do some solos here. And the first solo is Michaela on the oboe. Okay, I should point out that we walked in today, or I walked in today, and about 4 or 5, maybe 6 of our students were put on the quarantine list. So we had a couple that were supposed to play tonight that didn't get to, and I know they're kind of unhappy about that, but it is what it is. I hate that saying, but it is. So next up is Shane on the clarinet. And next we have CJ on the alto saxophone. Okay, next for the brass family, we have Connor on the trumpet. And next we have Michael on the French horn. And on the trombone we have Austin. And finally, in the percussion family, we have Mikey on the snare drum. All right, let's have another round of applause for all of our soloists. Oh, man, I am so sorry. I forgot Dancing Jake on the baritone. Okay, now we're going to move on to Jolly Old St. Nicholas, and we have a couple of students that want to do duets for you. The first duet is Megan and Hope. Our next duet is Avery and Lacey. Our next duet is Logan and Gavin. Next duet is Marcos and Keegan. All right, and our last duet, unless I messed up again, our last duet is Isaac and Marshall. All right, so moving on, we're going to play a song that you may or may not recognize. It's a song that was written back in the 1600s. It was a long time ago, and it's called Patapan Fantasy. would like to thank Dave Centofanto, who's up there in the balcony, and he records all of our concerts. So I know a lot of you are recording this, but you will get a chance to get a professional recording that Dave will post on YouTube. I will send you that link when he has it ready, and that's something that he does. He doesn't charge us for it, so I'd just like to give Dave a round of applause for everything he does for the school. And I'd like to thank you, the parents, for supporting the band program and allowing your child to be in my class. I have enjoyed working with them this semester. They've done a great job. They've come a long way. I keep telling them how good they are. I don't think they believe it, but they're really good. They're doing a great job. They're farther ahead than any class that I've ever started, and it's pretty good considering how big this class is that they've moved along so quickly. So I want to thank you, parents, for allowing your child to be in my class and paying the extra money for the instruments. I know that's not always easy to do. So thank you so much from the bottom of my heart. I wish you a Merry Christmas on behalf of the 6th grade band. We're going to play our last song in keeping with the Christmas spirit, Jingle Bells.